It's looking good out there. The Bitcoin ETF is here. The Ethereum ETF is here. We had the halving. We have the elections coming up, and all of a sudden everybody is pro crypto. So what's the future for Bitcoin and altcoins? And can we make much more than what we are sitting on right now? Let's take a look at what you guys have to ask. So first off, is it safe to only hold USDT or USDC during the bear market and then use that to accumulate whenever we are in an accumulation phase? In my opinion, no. I mean, of course, it's a good strategy to be completely out of crypto when the bear market begins. But in my opinion, it's never safe to be fully in stable coins because everything breaks in the bear market. Exchanges go down, projects go down, and also stable coins, they go down. And you do not want to be there when that happens, in my opinion. So I think it's best to just put your money on the bank or put it somewhere else in gold, in silver, in real estate, whatever. But fully in stable coins, you're still taking a risk. Next one, good question. How do you think the ETFs and the institutions are being involved right now are affecting the coming cycles? Yeah, that's hard, man. I mean, we can all speculate on that. On one hand, I do feel like, you know what, we always get a bull market, we always get a bear market, and then we put a reason to it why we got it. This time we obviously also get a bull market, and the reason that people give it this time is the ETFs. So I feel like it was going to happen anyway, and now we have the narrative, if you know what I mean. On the other hand, I can imagine that a lot of money is coming in, and this could be the last big bull market. Not as big as 2017 or anything like that, not even close. But the last like real big bull market, because more money is more liquidity, and if you have more liquidity in an asset, then it takes more to pump and dump it, of course. So I do think that, you know, Bitcoin was always falling with 80% or 77% in the bear market. It won't surprise me if it's like the next bear market, maybe 65 or 60%. And the same goes for the pumps. It's all diminishing right now, right? The dumps are diminishing, the pumps are diminishing. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think less volatility, so less, you know, casino vibes, less crypto vibes, but more safe to invest. But not as spectacular as what it was before. Could it be possible to see a major crash before the next leg up? And in that case, the 5.3 theory could be intact and we will have a double top. Well, part one, I agree. Definitely, of course, possible, right? Crypto is always crashing pretty hard in any kind of market we're in. In the 2012 and 13 bull market, we had a crash of 47%. Like that's the first like big crash, right? In the bull market after that, it doesn't look like much, but this crash right here was good for 38%. In this bull market, yeah, and that depends if you are going to include the COVID wick or not. Including the COVID wick, I mean, black swans could happen, right? That was 71%. Excluding COVID, right? So nothing to do with COVID. We crashed anyway with 53%, right? We had normal 20% correction so far, but we haven't seen a crash. And I'm not saying that it will happen, but I am in the impression like, hey, so far it always happens. So there's not really a reason for me to believe that it somehow cannot happen this time. However, I do not believe that that's a narrative for the 5.3 theory to be intact because like I showed in the 5.3 theory video, there are many indicators and charts and, you know, TA that you can apply that say like, hey, we're going way above 100K, and these indicators have been correct every single time as well. So if the 5.3 theory is going to be intact, it means all these other indicators are going to be wrong, right? Now, one of these indicators is going to be wrong. In my opinion, it's still the 5.3 theory that's going to be wrong. About the bull market, it will only end if we get a recession before 2026, but it's not likely. Well, I don't know. I'm not much into recessions and all of that, but from all I know, it could definitely be that we see a recession before that. However, we also got into a recession when COVID came, and what the Fed does is they print money, right? So if they print money, then the market goes up very hard. So if we get a recession, then I can imagine that things are going down quite hard. That's a beautiful buying opportunity, not necessarily the end of the bull market. and then we go up again and just continue the bull market. If the 5.3 theory works for Bitcoin, it must also work for ETH and all the others. Have you checked that? Yes, I checked that, and no, it doesn't work for those. On Bitcoin, it works perfectly, but if you apply this on any other chart, it doesn't make sense at all. So it's only actually for Bitcoin. Next one, I call beginning 2025 for the top. Then we'll be all over and people will expect a double top, but that won't happen. I don't see it. I'm curious what that's based on, so please give your argument. Because, yeah, like I said, so far the 4-year cycle is fully intact. There are many indicators that suggest that it's not going to end early. I try to find reasons to say to myself, like, hey, this time could be different. But the thing is, though, everybody in every cycle so far that said, hey, this time is going to be different, has got wrecked. And I don't want to, you know, be the person that also says like, hey, that now it's going to be different and then find myself wrecked again. By the time it's different, it's different. But until then, hey, the trend is your friend until the end of it. And there's no end. The 4-year cycle so far has played out perfectly so far till the day of today. So why all of a sudden will that stop in the coming 6 months after like 14 years of being fully intact? It doesn't make sense to me. My goal is to own 1 Bitcoin. Man, if you're gonna do that, then you will be a millionaire. It's very simple. Maybe not this cycle, maybe not next cycle, maybe the one after that, I don't know. But Bitcoin is designed to go up and people sleep on Bitcoin. It's so stupid. Every cycle, again, I see people saying the same stuff. You say, don't invest in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is boring. Be in altcoins. And then they get completely wrecked with altcoins because out of the 4 years, you should only invest in altcoins for 1 year. But they fade Bitcoin. But at the end of the day, it's the only coin out there that goes up and stays up. Ethereum, second best. But other than that, these altcoins are struggling, man. So don't fade Bitcoin. Owning Bitcoin is more valuable than anything else. Do you think Bitcoin will drop to 55K in May or June? I'm waiting for the moment to pack my bags, but I'm not sure anymore if this is going to happen. I'm not sure as well, so you should not wait for that moment. Therefore, you always want to DCA. Bitcoin, could it drop to 55K? For sure, of course, definitely. Lower even. But could it also not happen? For sure, definitely, higher even. Like, we do not know, right? You don't want to try to time this stuff, right? If it goes down, buy a little more. If it goes up, buy a little less. If it stays here, DCA, DCA, DCA. Then it doesn't really matter what the price does. And that's where you want to be. You're buying altcoins now after they mostly 30x. She was telling people not to buy altcoins when they were so cheap. Look, this is risk reward, right? I've talked about a lot of altcoins on this channel. We were very early in Delicium, for example, and made a ton of money out of that, right? We talked a lot about pre-sales, great opportunities, but overall, during the very lows, yeah, I was still very skeptic, right? And that was here. Here, like, the thing is though, there will always, also in the next bear market, there will be content creators that there will be a bear market and they will first be like, buy the dip. And then they realize it's a bear market and they be like, oh yeah, you can now buy the low. Oh, you can now buy the low. And you can now buy the low. And eventually they will have it right. And they look like geniuses, right? Well, all they do is basically just guessing. Yeah, at a certain point, of course, you get it right. But how much money is lost by investing here? Like, if you do that with Bitcoin, no problem, because Bitcoin will be higher than where it is. But every single altcoin that you invest in right here, you do not know if it is coming back. I remembered people talking about this one, right? Now I'm gonna hate on hacks again, right? But that's just what it is. People were talking about buy hacks. Yeah, until the day of today, all these people were getting wrecked, right? And this was one altcoin with the biggest community out there. But even this altcoin is completely dead right now, right? So you want to be very careful with that. So I rather waited for a confirmation that there was a higher low, right? And then you at least know like, hey, the downtrend is over, right? And then you have a higher high at a certain point and you know like, hey, the market is running again. Is that the way to catch the complete low? No, of course not. But I think that if you're trying to do that, you're trying to do the wrong thing right there. It's not about catching the low. Same as selling the high. Don't even try that. Also, most altcoins haven't 30x, right? This is others, the altcoin market, excluding the top 10. So if you not include the big caps, so just the lower caps, right? all, you know, included in one chart. And of course, one altcoin goes up more than the other, but this is literally the average. And if you take it from the bottom until where we are right now, it's up 317%. That's a nice gain, right? But if you look at Bitcoin from the bottom until where we are right now, it's up 337%. So fact is, though, that you didn't even need to gamble your way into these altcoins. If you just bought Bitcoin, you took a lot less risk and you have more money right now. Someone asked, what is your opinion about this? That this will be the greatest bull run ever. So after this, you can make money in crypto, but not as much as this cycle. Do you agree? Not really. To be honest, I do think that this will be a great bull run, for sure. But I think that this will be not the biggest bull run ever. By far not. Look, I mean, I'm a long-term Bitcoin bull, right? But if you look at, well, this bull run, for example, 2015, 16, 17, you can see that from the bottom until the top, it went up with like 11,000%, right? Yeah, imagine if we go up with 11,000% this cycle, that would put Bitcoin at $1.8 million. Yeah, like I'm bullish, but I'm not like that bullish, right? I can imagine that you, that your argument probably is like, hey, we now have the ETFs, which is super bullish, and that's definitely true, but it's also a fact that it needs more money right now to pump the price, right? So, of course, if we would have had the ETFs right here, then this bull market would have been absolutely fucking like crazy. Now we actually maybe need those ETFs and the money that's in there to have this kind of bull run. So no, I don't think that this will be the biggest bull run ever. Even if you look at last bull run, right, where we from the bottom to the top went up with like 22x, 2000%. Yeah, imagine if we do that, that would put Bitcoin at around 330k. Yeah, that kind of would be my most bullish case scenario. I think something like that might be doable. But I don't want to predict shit, man. I could be so wrong about this. But I think that this is way more realistic than that $1.8 million. By the way, if you like these videos, please give it a thumbs up. It would help me to push it into the YouTube's algorithm. Make YouTube think that this is good stuff, okay? We can trick them. Someone said, we cannot, however, say that Bitcoin will be around for 10 years from now, though. Now, and like, of course, nothing is certain. You never know what's going to happen. But the likeliness is definitely there. If you look what Bitcoin is doing, why it's out there, the massive, full, complete worldwide adoption that it's getting right now, how it's actually like destroying the dollar. I don't see what kind of like, maybe if the internet gets like banned or anything like, so I don't know what needs to happen for Bitcoin to not be around in 10 years. Let me put it like that. Someone said, be smart, only sell and short. What's the smart part? I don't know, man. Shorting and selling in like halfway the bull market so far never really works out, but you can try. Someone asked me, so you're buying Bitcoin and Ethereum with the 20% dry powder in this dip? Yeah, in that video I said like, hey, I have around 20% in cash. And yeah, I've been buying the Bitcoin and Ethereum dips, right? Of course. I mean, if you look at the dips for Bitcoin, yeah, these were great opportunities to buy them, right? If you look at Ethereum, same case, great opportunities to buy them. You take the lowest risk in crypto and the returns are pretty good, right? And also, I have more than 20% in stables as I get a passive income. So if I have like 20% right now and I spend some of that, yeah, a couple of weeks later, maybe I have another 20% again, right? So for me, it's always making sure, buy the dips, make sure that you still have money left in a couple of weeks or anything like that in case something happens then, right? Stay safe. What do you think of Carrot? Recently launched, and a game called My Pet Hooligan is probably one of the best looking crypto games out there. I completely agree, man. My Pet Hooligan is such a beautiful looking game. It's a game that definitely could go mainstream. Also, you know, towards Web 2 players, and the Carrot token will obviously benefit from that if that happens. One thing I don't really like about these new launches is the inflation that they have, right? It has a $74 million market cap at an 830 fully diluted market cap. So it has an 11, 12x to go to get where the fully diluted is. So that's a little bit of a bummer, right? Like all these new launches, they can make you short-term good money. Overall, usually what they do is slowly go down. So I've bought some because I do think that Carrot could be one of these few exceptions. Overall, you want to be a little careful with that stuff. When Altseason, when lambo. Yeah, well, I will never buy a lambo anyway. But I get that that's the crypto meme. But when Altseason, yeah, I'll make a lot of videos about that. When I think it's going to be an Altseason, in my opinion, it's still going to occur around end of the year. It could be a little sooner or later, of course. But that's just, you know, if we go off of history, Bitcoin first has to really break above its previous all-time high, and we did not really do that yet. And then go, you know, pretty far above it. That sets off the altcoins to really catch up, and then the Bitcoin dominance can come down, and then we finally have an alt season. But it's not that common. We have seen 2 alt seasons in crypto so far, right? So people constantly ask, when alt season, when alt season? But in reality, you don't really see it that much. So we have to be very patient. What are your thoughts on GUMMY on Solana? Apparently crypto Banter is behind it, and it went to $100 million market cap in the first 24 hours. Yeah, you know, I don't invest in it. Very simple. I don't like meme coins that much. It's really a casino, and I'm not buying it right now as it's already so high cap. It currently has a $72 million market cap. From the moment it came out, it basically is down only. The fact that it went that high is very understandable. I mean, they have a big community, so if that many people get in, of course it's a high market cap, but it doesn't really make it a good project necessarily. Other than that, I'm not saying that it isn't. I don't know about the project. It's because I don't really care about the project. I rather invest in stuff that I can hold for the long term, and a meme coin made by a YouTuber or YouTubers is not something that I really see as strong long-term stuff. It would have been nice if you were in a pre-sale or anything like that. Other than that, this is not gonna 100x. Otherwise it already did with the huge community that they already have, or something really crazy is gonna happen. But going from a $70 million market cap to 5 million, hey, that is possible, right? I don't want to be there when that happens.
I will unsubscribe now. Please keep it short and sharp. Do videos for 10 minutes. Nobody has time to listen to you for 51 minutes. It's just blah, 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 blah.
Some people do. If it's valuable content, you know, invest some time in it. I think that's enough for today. Guys, if you appreciate this kind of content, please let me know down below so we can do this more often. Ask your questions, leave your comments. It's all good. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn that bell notification on so you don't miss out on anything if I post a video. Appreciate your time. Love you guys. Take care.